powered by Riverside.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Live from the Bench. It's your co-host, GQ and Boulevard, and we got some topics for you. But before we get into our topics, I just want to say a few things. Please take the time to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you happen to be one of those people that just keeps coming back, make sure you're subscribing. Just make sure you're subscribing. And if you're one of those people that's watching and leaving the video because something about the video you didn't like, before you leave, do me a favor. Go ahead and type in the comments and let us know why you left the video. Because if it's something that we need to improve on this content, or if it's something that you want to see more of, feel free to let us know. We want to know what you feel about the video as you're watching it. All right. Because it's not about the views and stuff. It's about putting out a content, putting out a product that y'all like. As Eagles fans, sports fans, we want to know what you want to see, and if you let us know, we'll try to put it out there for you. But anyway, let's get into it, Boulevard.
Huh?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah,
the NFL is they're trying to test run a product, the new optical tracking system for the chains, and it seemed like it could be a very interesting situation. I think you got a little details on, and I think we would like to have you tell everybody about it. Tell us about it, Boulevard.
Okay. Well, let me put on my smart person voice.
He's actually very smart, so he's borderline genius.
I prefer people think I'm stupid. Optical tracking systems are used to localize objects in 3D space. They work by monitoring a defined measurement space using 2 or more cameras. Each camera is equipped with an infrared pass filter in front of the lens and a ring of IR LEDs around the lens to periodically illuminate the measurement space with infrared light. Optical tracking systems are used in medical navigation and robots to accurately estimate positions and orientations of surgical tools in real time. So basically, it's a grid of LED lights from what I'm gathering. And they're going to be able to use that to circumnavigate the point where the ball falls. Okay? I guess that's how I E-Lock 5 that, explained like your 5, there's a grid of lasers, and they'll figure out where the ball falls because they're all measuring where the ball falls. It's going to be tested in the preseason across all 32 stadiums. And if successful, they'll try it in international games too, which means like Brazil, Germany, Lancaster, Vermont, I don't know, wherever. So yeah, what do you think of that?
I think any ideas that's about making the game better, I think is a great idea. However, I do want to present this caveat, or I think that's what I want to say. This may not be a caveat, but I think it's here. I'm trying to use a word, not understanding how to use it.
Tell us in the comments if he's using a caveat, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm using it right. Let me know if I'm not. I'm not as smart as Boulevard is.
I don't know if you're using it right. I've never used that damn word.
Right, neither have I. I don't think it's something. I feel like this is something they could have been using in one of these feeder leagues that they're partnered with, because they are partnered with feeder leagues. I think it's something you do with something like that, because of this right here can potentially hinder a game if like the machine or the technology is off. If it's off by a few seconds or meters or centimeters, it could cause a game. We saw games like determined by a matter of inches, whether those inches were wrong or right, we could see things really hinder a game. And I wouldn't risk it. I think you want to get, and this is why you had things like the NFL Europe or you have D leagues. So that's where you test things out 1st. You testing it out in the real game, and this is where you start getting those things where people are going to say, "Oh, well, it's technology. Technology can be controlled," and people may start saying that, "Hey, the NFL is definitely rigging their game." So, hey, listen, if it's not obvious that it's a first down, or if the positioning isn't obvious, like for example, the Eagles tush push, there's no way that the ball, unless the optical tracking system is connected to a chip in the football. Is there a chip in the football?
Oh yeah, I'm going to get into the chip in the football too. I also want to point out that they did last season. They tested this out in Hard Rock Stadium and MetLife for a few games. The chain gangs aren't going anywhere. Another thing, chain gangs aren't going anywhere.
Okay,
they'll still be there because the people upstairs need them, the fans need them. We all need to be able to keep track of the game, so they'll still be employed. I mean, it made me think of something when I was thinking about the chain gangs. It made me harken back to high school, freshman year. Okay? It was a JV game or a freshman team game. I don't friggin' know. Either way, I found myself on the chain gang on the opposite side. There's nothing but like forest and dead bodies back there. Southwestern was a nightmare. I loved it. But me, whoever the hell I was chain ganging with, just started talking. Completely lost track of the game. Like, they're still going downfield. No, never mind to us. We're over here talking. They're like 20 yards beyond us. They're like, does the chain game really matter? Because, I mean, we felt pretty irrelevant in that moment.
I would say, like, in that game, I think the refs are keeping track of it for the most part. But I think because if the chain gang isn't like, I think in like the pro level, the chain gang is like official people. They're probably trained and like that's their day job. Down at your level, you wouldn't expect people to be taking that shit serious. But it's just that I feel like it's going to be a lot of kinks to work out with this.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is the way you test it out because some teams might be like, nah, I don't want to test out something new like this right now. Like, yeah, I say test it out in the preseason, call up the UFL, and test that out there, but not like this. I'm all for developing the game, growing the game, and finding better solutions to make the game better, but I feel like testing anything and the regular season is a for sure no for me. Unless it was like the challenge system, like the replay system. Like that's something you can test right then and there because nobody was I don't think anybody objected to the challenge and replay system unless you were a cheater.
New England call?
Yeah, but like for example, like they instead of this new kickoff system, they should have tested somewhere the hell else before they decided that they were going to just automatically implement it because it's going to be a disaster. I give it 2 to 3 years before they re-implement the original kickoff system. I give it a few years because the game's going to get real boring with there's no like the limits the chance of a kick return coming back for a touchdown. Yeah, there's no chance. Everybody's just gonna nail it. It's not gonna be fun anymore.
Let's slide back to the kick returns in a minute because we should talk about that. Back to this microchip football. The footballs have been microchipped for a long time, like for years. They've used it to track a lot of crap, like velocity, whatever they do, like how fast you're running, whatever nonsense they use. But they use the football microchip. That should be like if they actually use this microchip to tell us where the ball is, then we shouldn't have any issues. Like there should be no doubt where the ball is if it's a microchip football. I mean, optical tracking system, why don't you take it like whatever the next step is further, like something in the field, under the dirt.
Yeah.
Like something like if you go through a drive-through, I know this from old jobs. Once you hit a certain point in that drive-through, it's going to go ding in the people's headsets.
Yeah.
Because of the weight of the car. Why not do something similar with the fields? Why not do that? Get it, like instead of being the weight of the car, maybe just the volume of the football or something along those lines. Have it connected to the football, not tires. There are ways to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to do this, but I know there are people that are smart enough to figure this out. And this is something beyond this optical tracking system. We know referees are going to find a way to fuck that up because that's what they do. They rig games this way.
Yes.
But if there is something in the ground, this would probably go a lot further, be more exact. It's like using computers in baseball to determine ball strike pitches. It's the same principle. It's going to be exact because it's connected to the field, to the zone.
Mm-hmm.
This would just be the more logical. But I mean, if this is just a step towards that, I'm fine with it. But they need to get to that point as soon as possible. And then maybe they can figure out what the fuck a catch is.
I agree. I agree. Because I'll say the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl, it should have been Eagles versus the Steelers in the Super Bowl. Yeah. Because they can't figure out what a catch is now where the NFL can really All right, let's move on.
By the time they couldn't figure out what a pass was.
They still can, apparently.
Right? Like, no, that wasn't a fumble. Tom Brady fucking
What's
fumbled.
funny? You want to know what's funny to me?
What that
Is
is?
remember they said that they made the new rule, which was basically to stop the Eagles' RPO attack, where they said they would call it a legal forward pass if they handed off the ball forward. I didn't see a single penalty for that at all this year.
I mean, in the game, I don't even know what I was looking for. Because I don't think I ever
I don't think the refs did either.
Yeah.
I don't think the refs did either.
Fall.
Please excuse the baby yelling in the background. She's telling her siblings to come eat, which I am like, oh yeah. Yeah, I don't understand some of these rules. This just like if we didn't know what to look for, I doubt the refs did either. So
Right.
I think there's a whole lot of things that they need to do.
And they had more information than we do, and they still didn't know.
Yeah, I think trying to test it in the regular season is ultimately going to lead to disaster. So, other than that, I agree with you with the microchips.
Sure, it can't be worse than what the referees have been so far. So, anything that makes the game more accurate, I'm for it. I know the Kelsey boy was like, was against it because it made it too exact. Like, no, screw that, man. I don't want to leave.
I prefer exact.
Yeah, make it exact. I don't want to have to worry about games up and one team's seasons and ruining people's contracts and ruining their no. I don't like having the refs have so much influence over the game. So anything that makes it more exact and accurate and correct, which is all their job is to be correct. Excuse me. Do that. Do whatever makes it right. Whatever makes the numbers right. That's all.
I want to propose a rule change since we're slightly on the topic. I think when New York forces when New York forces the refs to go into a challenge, when a play goes into a challenge, I think at that point it's no longer the ref's call, the ref on the field's call. I think that's where the people in New York, it's time y'all use the technology that you have. That microchip football. If we're challenging whether something, the spot of the ball, or Like, I think that's when you start using technology. I think you start going in the second millisecond, and that way you can look at this millisecond, the knee was on the ground. At this millisecond, there was no temperature around the ball because nobody was holding the ball. That millisecond right there, I think there's a lot of things that you could do with technology. I think they're not doing the right thing because I don't give a shit how fast somebody's running with the ball. Fast is fast, and if I see
That's
fast, I
facts.
like I feel like the whole putting a microchip in a ball to see how fast somebody is running. I don't care about trying to market Amazon. I don't give a damn about that.
Right.
I
Right.
want to
No, that's fair.
see
I don't
the
care about
game.
any of that.
Yeah, I don't care about how long the ball was in the air. I don't care about that. Like, if it's something that's going to benefit the game, that's where I want to go. Seeing how long, seeing how long someone's hang time is on a punt really doesn't matter. It doesn't contribute to the game.
All of these things are important within the game, but you're right, they're not necessarily as important to fans.
Yeah,
Like the speed thing would just be separation. You can't be caught from behind or whatever. Big plays. What was the other thing you said?
Basically, hang time for punters,
Oh, yeah.
like
I mean,
length of
it
time
doesn't
was of the
benefit us,
ball.
but I mean, it's just extra information.
Yeah,
That's
but I
for
think, and
coaches.
I'm not against it. Yeah, I'm
Right.
not against it, but there is the ways to use the technology to better the game, and I
Yeah,
feel
actually
like
benefit the
let's
game, yeah.
focus. Yeah, I think there's a ways to do it. If you can figure out how far a pass was thrown just by using that technology, it is
Mhm.
insane to me that you cannot determine the location of a football. If you and
Right.
believe it or not, because that's how technology works. That's how GPS works. If you can determine how fast something is, that means you know where something is from one place to another. So that means you
Mhm.
can tell me right now that a ball, if you can tell me where my car is on the map, you can tell me where a football is on a football field. I
Ding,
have
ding,
lost
ding,
my wife.
ding, ding.
I have lost my wife in a Walmart, looked at my phone and was able to find her in a Walmart. If you can't find a football on a football field,
That's
which is
creepy.
probably bigger or as big. Listen, I lost her, and I know if we're in a Walmart and she's at the checkout and I'm over here in the freezer aisle or whatever, I can't find my wife. That means I'm
Well,
lost because
did you or
we
did
can't
you
go
not just
nowhere.
immediately go fetal on the floor when you realized you couldn't find her? Like,
No, I called her. I was like, "Where are you at?" It
I'm
says that you're at the checkout line.
scared. I'm scared.
But yeah,
Nobody to
it's
hold
just
your hand in Walmart.
I went and checked the GPS. I checked her GPS to find out where she was because
Went and found her in the cupboard.
technology. Like, if you're able to tell me where my package is, you should be able to tell me where the football is.
You really should. It shouldn't even be that complicated.
It really shouldn't.
Like we already have the technology. There's no excuse for it. We just getting the optical trackers. Like this
Yes.
shit should be figured out already. Just invest the damn money.
Yeah, 100%. Stop investing money into playing football in Brazil and Europe.
Right.
Yeah, no one wants to see you play football in Munich. And I'm just going to say this because this has been on my mind for a long time. I don't care to see football in the UK or any other country. And this is why. Our sport is called football. Their sport is called soccer. They don't care about the game of football because if they cared about the game of football, they wouldn't call their sport football. They would call their soccer and ours football. But they don't acknowledge our sport as football, so why would we bring their game to them? If they don't even acknowledge the name of our sport, they don't respect the game. So don't give them the game. Let them come here if they want to enjoy the game.
Yeah.
And that's just how I feel about that. If you don't
American
respect my
football is
game
real
enough,
football.
if you don't
American
respect my
football,
game enough to call it what it is, that's like looking at me and calling me slightly less purple instead of just calling me black, or calling me brown instead of just calling me black. I'm a black person. Don't call me a brown person. Just call me black. That's what I am. This is football. Call it football. If you don't want to call me that, then don't call me anything. And that's why I said, like, it is what it is. It's what it is. So call it what it is. At the end of the day, like, what are you gonna do? Because if we start making, if the NFL was to decide we're gonna give the UK a team, what are you gonna do? It's National Football League. Like,
Shout
what are
out
you
to
gonna
the
do?
London Silly Nannies.
But yeah, that's how I feel about that. So I think we can probably move on to the next topic now.
Hey, we got 20 minutes out of that. I'm impressed.
So, the Philadelphia Phillies. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh, they're on a tear, bro.
Mm?
They're playing, and I was like, what? Actually, because I get the notifications whenever their games end. So I've been getting a lot of notifications. It's just like, what the hell are these? I'm like, I've seen, like, in the past month, I've maybe seen one or two where they didn't win. And I'm like, yo, they're good. I mean, I may have missed some, but I'm like, whoa, they're doing good, because I'm like, I'm not seeing losses. And I get that with all the teams. Sixers, Eagles. I'm watching the Eagles. I get the Philly Union. I get all those notifications when those games are over. But it's just like watching all these wins. I'm like, yo, what are the Phillies doing right now?
They're
Not just
leaving
so
all the
happen the
win.
other leaving all away. It's so funny because I just so happened to turn Hulu on the other day. No shout out to Hulu.
No shout
And
out.
I just so
Hulu
happened
is-
to turn it on, and Bryce Harper was hitting a home run. I think it was the grand slam he hit. And I was just like, Jesus. I was like, what did I just walk into?
Damn. Man, it's always a good time when the Phillies are in first place with the best record in baseball. As of today, that record is 38-15. That's beautiful. I love it.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to fall in love with baseball.
Hey, do it.
Because for a while I used to think baseball was boring. Nah, not no more. I even play MLB The Show. Shout out to Sony, because that's probably one of the best games y'all got.
Right? Yo, I fuck with that.
But I want to talk about Sony.
Yeah, good.
It's funny because MLB The Show is free on Xbox. This is a Sony game. That means it shouldn't be on Xbox. It's be on Sony. But again, look, I'm not about to block my blessings. Keep it up, because I get that joint for free every year. I got both systems, but I will not buy it on PlayStation because it's like $60 on PlayStation.
Man,
it should be free on
money.
PlayStation.
That shit is all about money. PlayStation made
some
that
of that
game.
Game Pass money.
Or San Diego, whatever, made that game. They want their money. They want to recoup what they invested in that shit. I don't blame them. They need to stop acting like there's a rivalry between Sony and PlayStation.
Yeah.
So,
and I feel like these companies that want to be like, oh, we're gonna do exclusives. I think when you do console exclusives, you're blocking your blessings, because I don't care. What was that game called? Rise, Son of Rome? No, that was the dumbest thing ever. Like, why?
I tried it.
I'd never played that game.
I found that game boring as hell. So like, okay, so I wait for you to swing, and then I block your swing, and I swing. Yay!
I think the only thing that Sony got for them, as far as their PlayStation exclusives, is the Spider-Man.
No, I'm mad
Spider-Man
about that.
games.
I'm mad about that because I'm on the other side of that, and that I don't own a PlayStation, and I probably won't own a PlayStation anytime soon.
I love the game.
Team America, fuck yeah. So
I love the game, but it sucks that it's not like that. I think Fox needs to come out with some games. Like, no, I'm kidding.
I say that knowing damn well I have a 2 and a 3 around here somewhere. I'm sort of a collector. They don't know that, but I'm sort of a collector of gaming systems and all the old. I just want all the old shit. Give me my Nintendo game, my GameCube. Give me all the old Nintendo systems. That Genesis. Yeah, y'all know. If you're over 40, you know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that Atari, that Coleco, that Spectrum ZX, all that shit. I want it all. brand new socks and drawers. All right.
Contact Boulevard if you got a plug for consoles because he wants
Yeah.
to have all of them.
I may buy your shit from you. That's
All
my
right.
shot. All right, what we got
Let's move
next?
into the next topic. We've got a competition at the quarterback position in Philly.
No,
This is for you, Joey Bag of Donuts. This is for you. If you're watching Joey Bag of Donuts, this is for you. Now, this QB competition is 100%. It's completely notional. I don't think anybody with any sense that is common believes that there's a QB competition, especially with a guy named Kenneth Pickett.
Can he pick it? Yes, he can. Can he pick it? Yes, he can. Can he pick it? Yes, he can.
For a man that was supposed to be the desired guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were like, we want him. He's the hometown guy. He practices in our facility. We want him. And then they let him go. For him to be the guy they let go, I'm even shocked that Philadelphia's got him. But they're not ready to let Tanner McKee take over as the backup. I get it. It's only a matter of time.
No.
Kenny Pickett's just the bridge guy. And that's sad because he's only 25 and he's already the bridge quarterback.
Plus, he got a year left on his deal. Pickett.
Yeah.
Going free agency next year. Yeah, he's a backup now. He's a career backup now. He might get one more shot as a starter, but no.
But we're in Oakland.
Yeah, probably somewhere like that. Oakland. Oh, one of the teams that's desperate or will be desperate.
Or Cleveland I think maybe even Cleveland, because after Deshaun Watson's contract is up, he is gone, son. They're going to look for somebody. They're going to need somebody that can come in so they can recoup that money.
They shit the bed on that contract. It's too late.
Yeah.
And he's going to be there, and you already paid him a fuck ton of money, so he ain't going to be mentally committed as it is. Ha. Cleveland rocks. That's what Cleveland do. It's always a dumb move when you're in charge of the front office in Cleveland. You're always doing something stupid. It's what Detroit used to do.
So with this notion of QB competition not really being a thing, I feel like if there's a QB competition in Philadelphia, it's for that number 2 spot. Because believe it or not, I thought Tanner McKee should have been the backup quarterback to Jalen Hurts instead of Marcus Mariota. I think the only reason why Mariota had the number 2 spot was because he probably fit their system better than McKee did.
I liked the signing of Mariota. Personally, I prefer someone with some starting experience in my number 2, not necessarily a rookie or like a second, third. I need somebody who's been on the field, who's gotten time, not some nobody 6th round pick that's just there to develop and stash so you can trade them later. Because push going to shove, you're going to need that player one day. You need somebody who's going to be ready, who knows what to expect, who knows the speed of the game, who has the brain power, the brain speed to process everything. You don't want somebody that's going out there doubtful of what they're seeing, questioning their eyes, holding the ball too long because of doubt. No, you want somebody that knows that's ready, that's game ready on the drop of a hat, because that's what they've done. Like the Brock Purdy's and shit like that. Those don't happen very often.
Yeah.
So that's a rare thing that you're going to find a solid person, a solid QB that late in the draft. That's rare. Even as a backup, it's rare to find a solid backup that late. So you definitely find a veteran or even like somebody on their final year who's got starting experience. So you can just throw them out there, even if they mostly suck, but they have starting experience.
Yeah.
And somebody who was mediocre than an unknown going out there, like an unknown from like a University of Penn quarterback going out there rather than as opposed to a third-year veteran. I'd rather have a third-year veteran. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, at quarterback, I don't want rookies on the field as quarterbacks. Anywhere else,
I agree.
reps, but I don't want you out there as a quarterback on a rookie. As a rookie, no way in hell.
I feel as though if you're ever an NFL team that has to come in and start a rookie quarterback, I feel like you have failed your organization.
Right. We don't mean like a
If you're
top pick. We mean like somebody you picked for.
Oh, I mean the top pick too.
Oh,
I mean
okay.
a top pick too. I feel as though, and it's clearly an indication with the Chicago Bears. If you had to draft, I mean, because you drafted Caleb Williams as number one pick, cool. If you ran your organization properly, Caleb Williams will be sitting for a year to develop. But instead,
if you ran the organization properly, they wouldn't have had to pick him with the first pick.
True, and I feel like, and that's. That right there is a fact in itself. If you have to draft a quarterback with a first round pick, because look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they drafted Jalen Hurts, and he's their quarterback of their future.
He wasn't brought in to be a starter. Yeah,
he wasn't brought in to be the starter. He developed. He had to sit behind somebody, and that is what you should expect from you. That is what you should expect. You should have a veteran.
Right.
So for that to have happened, I mean, somebody for your quarterback that you draft, Jaden Daniels.
Barker, Rodgers, the Packers did it right.
May. The Packers definitely did it right.
I mean, it benefited the Packers, even if it didn't benefit any of them after they left. It benefited the Packers, and that's what was important to the Packers. They got what they wanted out of the three quarterbacks. They got 20 years of decent quarterback play. They did it right. That should be the example. You let your quarterback sit, just let them sit behind somebody who's talented, who could show them the ropes even without actually just taking the time out, because they don't want to lose their job. But you can learn, you can watch, you can study, and then when they're old and done, they can go away, or their contract up, they can go away, and you're ready.
And you know what's funny is because right here, this is about to be a controversial statement. It's going to be a controversial statement, and I know a lot of people are going to hate it. Even though they won six Super Bowls. This is why I say the Patriots are a poorly organized team, because the second Tom Brady left, the team crumbled. That means you invested nothing
there
into
was
the future
no
of your organization.
You
didn't do anything. You didn't, and that's the craziest thing, is because you should know you got a guy like Tom Brady who at any point could walk away, retire, leave the game. And you did not bring anybody in to develop under him. Anybody. You didn't bring anybody in to develop under him. The guys that you did bring in, Matt Castle, well, I don't think it was Matt Castle. It was Jacoby Brissett, Garoppolo. I know it's Garoppolo, but I say Garoppolo to be an asshole. The guys you bring in, you traded them away, which hurt them. Because I feel as though if they would have had more time under Tom Brady, they probably would have became better. We'd probably be having a different conversation after Tom Brady went to Tampa. We'd probably be having a different conversation, because you probably still have some semblance of that success. They probably wouldn't have completely flipped their record, but they did, because
Brady made those receivers good. That system. The receivers weren't trash. That's why they didn't succeed anywhere else.
Yeah, I agree. But I feel as though if you have, let's talk Madden, for example. You got Tom Brady, 99. You got a quarterback that's a 68. Next year, Tom Brady's still a 99. But that backup is a 75 now. You see what I'm saying? He developed some under Tom Brady as his backup, because you've got to watch one of the best, if not the best in the game. You got to watch one of the best do what they do. He was cooking, and guess what? It's like when you in the kitchen, you watch your mama cook.
Is this Ryan Mallett something over here?
It could have been Ryan Mallett. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's like you watch and you stay there. And one of the things that I love about I can't remember his first name. Packers' new quarterback, Love.
Jordan
Love. Smartest thing he did was sit his ass down and not say anything about trading. Because guess what? Everybody was like, oh, he's never started. He's not. Guess what? Now we having a different conversation about Jordan Love. because he sat there behind one of the best. Say what you want about him. He's probably Aaron Rodgers is one of the best. He's one of the best to ever do it.
I refuse to
He
acknowledge.
sat behind. He sat and Aaron Rodgers sat behind him. One of the best to ever do it. And now here he is. He's one of the best to ever do it. I'm not going to say that Jordan Love's going to become one of the best to ever do it, but he learned behind one of the best to ever do it. So he's going to have something that he takes away from that. So I feel as though that's why I look at New England and I blame it. I'll put it 100% on Bill Belichick because you didn't want to let anybody else be a GM. You wanted to be, you put your son, you prioritized your sons and play calling positions.
Right. You
and
spent more
the whole
board power than he did trying to develop players or anything, really. That's why he ended up with weird fucking like positional coaches. Like bad coordinators, like all defensive coordinators running offense, because he never took the time to actually build a staff. He put his friends and the people and the loyal people there. And they, that's why nobody was successful outside of the system as coaches.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, yeah.
This is why I feel like
made it to the playoffs. Like, so the fuck what? That season was a fluke and one of the dumbest things America has ever experienced as football fans. The Tebow mania, ridiculous. Like they had that man damn near ordained. Like he was the second coming. Boy couldn't even throw a football to save his life. Like, oh my God, he's the best. Stop playing.
Yeah,
ridiculous. And then he had the audacity to win in the playoffs. So now he actually almost had people thinking McDaniels was a good coach. But I digress because that's not what we're talking about here. But McDaniels was trash. And Tebow mania was ridiculous. But yeah, okay.
But you're 100% right. There's a lot of teams that just don't execute properly because the Colts, for example, they did nothing.
No,
they did nothing to like. I would have thought that if I was the GM in Indianapolis, when I noticed that Andrew Luck has a lot of injuries, I would have been like, okay, let's go find a quarterback that we can sit behind him. Let's find somebody to sit behind him because Andrew keeps getting injured. We need somebody that's going to be like really going to develop. Nobody got developed. I don't see how that is even a thing. How no one developed.
Jacoby, but that's really their best effort was Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah. And he didn't do that bad.
Jacoby Brissett's like their 35th best quarterback in the league. That's the problem. Like that's the issue. Like,
I think he's better than
to start. Well, yeah, there are definitely a few quarterbacks that are starting that shouldn't be, but he's in that like third tier of quarterbacks, right?
Like, because I feel like Bryce is. I don't know when people are gonna start accepting it, but it's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna be like, "Listen, Bryce, not a quarterback. Bryce Young, not a quarterback. It's about time."
We can't jump the guns that hard, that fast. We just need more. He's got to get like 30 games under his belt first before we can declare if there's anything there. Like, really, you do. You have to, like, you need 2 seasons. You need 2 seasons to really start fleshing out yourself. I'm switching chairs. Like that first season, you're a rookie. You're still going through the motions. I mean, you're not even used to playing so many games. You're not used to so much time in the building, focusing on football. You're not used to those things because you have other priorities before that. So you learn in the motion for the first years. Any success is good success. Yeah. Like that year, you are more reliant on the staff to help mold you and direct you where you need to go. But second year, you're more on your own. You should know what to do.
Yeah.
You should know how to study. You should know how to train, how to develop. You should know where to be when. You should know what you're looking for on film. You should know all these things.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you say after second year, the most development happens going into year 3. Because now we start seeing what you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
and I feel like the league is.
Oh, yeah. I forgot what I was talking about.
Well, I feel like the league has a habit of just like giving up on quarterbacks way too early.
Yeah. Giving up on coaches, giving up on quarterbacks, giving up on staff. Let things breathe. Like you're out. If you go. 7-9. Well, what? 7-10 now. 7-10, 9-8 for 3 years in a row, somewhere around that range. You're fired. Like you're fired for that. It's like you're on the brink. You're like one player away from being winning your division at that point. No, like you're one piece away. You're right there at that point. But they'll blow it up. Like you could have a young team like the Falcons. It wouldn't have surprised me. It wouldn't surprise me after this season. If this season is a bust in Atlanta, they blow it up with all the young talent, start moving them out. It wouldn't surprise me. They trade Pitts, but Pitts doesn't have a great season. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if Zay Flowers had a average season, 58, 700 yards and 68. That they start shopping him. It wouldn't surprise me because they give up too easy on players.
Yeah.
Like, let them develop. If you saw the talent, bring the talent out. That's what the positionals are there for. That's what the OCs are there for. Bring the talent out. Find what they're good at and make that and build that. And from there, you can fill everything else out. But once you know what they're good at, then you know what to do with them. Don't just give up on them because they're not everything you want. Because you drafted them for you to develop. So it's on you what becomes of them. As a positional coach, you're responsible for the players getting better. I understand they're grown men; they're going to live their damn lives, but you're responsible for the development. And if the players aren't getting better, it's you. And if the OCs
shout out to Mike Eberflus, or whatever his name is,
skill sets and utilizing them to the best that they can, and they're failing to develop or become better players because of it, that's on the OC. That's on the DC. Again, I don't know what the hell I was talking about, but I'm a little weeded up. So
we love to hear it. All right, we got one more topic that we're going to discuss. We got one more topic we got to discuss before I head in to the till I take the field, till I go on the sideline.
I hope this is the last time I ever shave my damn face.
Hey, you guys, let us know in the comments what you think of Boulevard's new look. I like it. I think he looks like T-Sizzle.
There's no why. Why? That's so
cute, but it's wrong.
Sixers free agency is coming up. Daryl Morey. First off, let's just say I think Daryl Morey should be fired. Because
you always want a coach or a GM to be fired.
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah,
it's time. True.
What has he done
before
at all?
And I'm a big fan of like just completely blowing that shit up. Blow them the fuck up. So I think the only reason why we had
Maxey. Give the scouts credit for Maxey. Give Maxey credit for Maxey. Daryl Morey ain't do that.
Yeah. And I understand why we haven't blown it up yet because the Sixers are still getting to the playoffs. But like, there's one thing to get to the playoffs. So what are you doing with it? Like you're not doing anything. You're not advancing.
They're not getting very far. I think second round is the farthest Sixers have come past few years. Past long time, like since Iverson. The farther we go second round. Yeah, so it's obviously not working, but I mean, there's good news on the horizon. Sixers got damn near $65 million in cap space going into free agency. There's a few good names out there.
I'm gonna say right now, I don't want Paul George. I don't want Paul George.
I don't want Paul George either. I'm just saying there are some brand names out there. You could go for brand names, do the analytics way, and try to find talent in the numbers that nobody's looking at. Or you just go pick up a star. I mean, you got a few stars out there. Harden will be available again. Siakam will be out there. Maybe Lowry can come back to Philly for another year if he don't retire. I don't know.
So I feel like
what do you think?
If we're not blowing it up, if we're not giving up anybody, if we manage to bring back Toby, that's what I call Tobias. If we bring back Toby, which I doubt we do, if you're not and
no one wants that.
I think what you do now is you bring somebody in that's going to immediately be a playmaker, somebody that you can be like always say that Maxi's got a guy that he can pass it to. That's not named Joel.
Yeah, I mean,
I would go ahead and say,
or just build get a few role players in there. I'd say look at Anunoby or Pascal Siakam. But that's just me.
I would say Siakam. Yeah, I like Siakam. I like Clay. Let
Clay's just about at the end of his rope, though. So
yeah, he can be that.
This might
give
be
him a little bit
retirement tour season. Who knows?
Yeah, that's good for the money. I would say him. Shit, I've got just thinking of some people that might be on their way out.
How about Markelle Fultz?
Bringing him back. I feel like he was done so dirty in Philly that he wouldn't want to come back. I look at bring Markelle Bridges back. I mean, bring our family member back to Philly.
There. He's probably going to cost about 20 something. But I like his game.
Markelle Bridges is actually a relative of ours. A lot of people don't know that he is related to us. But
I've heard that. I don't know the dude. I heard the girl from Black Lightning is related to us too, but I don't know her.
Yeah, that is our cousin. Nafisa
what are
is
both
our
of them
cousin.
to come on the show and tell us about what they got going on?
I've actually talked to her the other day.
Oh, who?
Yeah,
what's her name?
Nafisa.
Oh,
Nafisa
really?
Williams.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to her the other day.
She was a kid. I don't know who she is. She was a kid. Just like you. You were
she's still very. Yeah, she talks to the family quite a bit. But she's busy a lot. So.
Well, Nafisa, I'm your cousin. Hello. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. Gary Harris is out there. THT, Malik Monk, one of my personal favorite players in the league. I mean, I would love it if they went and go pick up some shooters to come off the bench, microwave style, and just heat it up.
I'm going to throw out a name here that probably a few years ago we probably wouldn't have liked. But I would say Lonzo Ball. I know he's
broken. He's broken.
Yeah, I know so is Embiid. If we're committing to Embiid when he's broken, can we commit to somebody who's younger? Probably give you a little bit more.
I was the one that was high. I thought I was the one that was high.
I'm just saying. Like, let's talk about people who may need a revenge tour, or somebody who you can probably get for cheap, like, prove it, prove it deals exist in this league too, right?
That's true.
Let's have Lonzo prove it to me. And listen, let's say he falls to the second round. What about Junior? What about Junior?
Well, Junior brings Senior in.
I don't want Junior. I mean,
that brings a whole world of problems because now you got one person who ain't the star but gets all the attention like they are the star, and all they do is throw tantrums and make distractions on the court and off of the court, and you got to hear nonsense from them every 3 days because they need the attention. I don't want LeBron near Philly. I don't really want the kid near Philly. I mean, the kid's just scream. The kid's going to end up in Europe because realistic. I wanted to do a whole fucking segment on this guy. I don't want to.
We will get into that.
Okay,
we won't do it here. We will get into it. We will get into it there.
A lot to say on this subject.
But
Oh,
me
boy.
being a advocate for blowing organizations, like blowing it up from a personnel
He really
standpoint,
is, yo.
I think if it's somebody you want to get somebody in here to get Maury fired, that guy LBJ will be the one to help you get there. And that
Oh,
is the
yeah.
only thing that he'd advocate for getting Maury removed, and I think that's what we would need because Maury's
I
going to
mean,
be here for
Maury
a
is
little
the
while now.
idiot who was ride or die with James Harden. So that's forever his legacy. He's the catcher to hit the ball. And he wasted two teams' time. Well, both of them wasted two teams this time with their bullshit. So that alone, just that for that whole waste of a season that was the James Harden season, that would be enough to where we don't need more services anymore. Because other than picking up going after stars, what does he do? What does he do? He's another one that wants to think your only skill is you can go get somebody else scraps. Like that's even the word on Maury is that he's waiting for another disgruntled star to pop up. Like what kind of bullshit? So you want somebody else's nonsense on your team, and you think this is the way to build a team by bringing in problems? You don't want to throw money out for players that will go out there and play hard and won't be problems. Solid role players. There's a bunch out there, but you want to wait for a disgruntled car star for what? Because it hasn't worked yet. It hasn't worked yet for this man. I mean, you look over his history, he has not. Playoffs, his teams don't win. Like, why is he still here? Why settle for this? For mediocrity. This is what I don't understand. So you'd be like, oh yeah, we got to the playoffs. That's good enough. No, it's not. The goal is to win everything. The goal is to win the championship. If you're just out there trying to be good enough to look good, you're not doing enough. If you ain't, you're not doing nothing, you're wasting everybody's fucking time. If you're not trying to build a damn champion, you're wasting everyone out there's time. And that's what Daryl Morey is. He's bullshit. It's bullshit. Okay? He can go get a star, but he can't go draft one. He has no eye for talent. He only wants what everybody else has. So he's a fucking star, go get another star, which is fine. But that clearly is not the way to win in the NBA.
Nope.
You need role players. You need players that are all in mentally. Not out there trying to get theirs, trying to get that next contract, trying to get attention. Those are the teams that win. The ones with the fucking drama queens, the big threes, they don't win. Look at the teams that are successful. That's what you need to be striving for, Philly. Maury's not going to get you there. Maury's going to get you fucking highlights. Okay, because he's going to go get you disgruntled stars. That's not going to win. I mean, look at the Clippers. The Clippers didn't win. Look at that fucking roster. Didn't win. Okay? Role players matter. There are a bunch on the market right now in free agency. For the Eagles for the Sixers to not go out and grab them, for Warren to not go out and acquire talent, which is his job as the general manager, he is wasting everyone's time and needs people away. Because waiting for a star, whoever it may be it Beal, Durant, whoever, they're going to come with problems. They're going to come with nonsense. It's not going to work. It doesn't work. So let's be realistic. Let's use the tactics that are actually proven to be successful in building a team.
I agree.
You got an MVP at center. You got an on-the-rise shooting guard in Maxey. You need pieces. You don't need another star. You need pieces. You need a defender to run opposite of Maxey. Okay? You need somebody that can step out or whatever with fucking Embiid. You need players that can work with the talent you have. Okay? What we don't need is a Bron and Bron. What we don't need is an injury-prone Paul George. Right? Like I just going down this list. Let me rearrange my statistics. Okay, one blam 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 boom. Okay, now let's go down to the free agency's going on. Okay, let's look at role players. You got Siakam, he's 30, he's a little on the older side, but still, you can get 2-3 years there. Buddy Hield, same thing. God damn it. Okay, either way, you get my point. There are players out there. Gary Trent, Markelle Fultz, Jonas if you need a backup for Embiid, which you will because Embiid will get hurt. Beasley, Tyus, Gary Harris, bring back fucking Covington. Get some minutes off the bench. Malik Monk, Monte Morris, Kyle Anderson. Anything else? I mean, there's positions that need to be filled here. Let's go find players. Let's not wait for a star because a star is just going to get you exactly where you've been, which is losing in the second round. So let's use
right. I agree.
I'm trying to say, sorry for rambling. Let's just try a different tactic this season. That's all I'm saying. Maybe build some.
I agree. All right, so before we end the video, I want to end it on a good note or a funny one. Boulevard, I have a question for you.
It's a funny one.
If you can add one Eagles legend to the current NFL or the current Eagles roster,
Reggie White.
who would it be, and why would it be Brian Dawkins?
Oh. Well, I mean, Brian Dawkins would have been my number. Brian Dawkins would have been my number 2. But
okay.
Because he's everything Philly represents in one player.
Okay.
Because he would go out there and he would get that team playing with a fire under their ass that they don't even know they're capable of.
Oh, yeah.
He lit up the state. He lit up the fans. He lit up the field. He lit up ball carriers. We don't have that right now. We need players that will blow up running backs. We need that. We always need one of those at safety. You always need a hitter. You always need hitters everywhere. I don't understand why there ain't so much emphasis on that. Oh yeah, never mind. Concussions, whatever. Yeah, it would be Brian Dawkins if it were Brian Dawkins, because he would fill most every need that we have defensively. I don't mean positionally. I mean schematically, mentally. He'd be the leader of the defense. I don't know who the current leader of the defense is, but Dawkins was the leader of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the best leaders.
When you said Reggie White, why Reggie White? Would he fit in this current system?
Is he still unblockable? Yes. He'd get more sacks today because there's more passes. Nobody's going to be able to control him. So, yeah. I mean, it would be lovely to have that position locked down, one of the end positions locked down for 10 years. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, so I'll let him do that.
So Reggie White was, when he was listed at 6'5", 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say he would fit the Eagles' current system as a defensive end, or would you say Eagles would have to change?
He'd be on the interior now. He'd definitely be a tackle.
So with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, you think he'd be you think this would be good for the team?
Mm-hmm. That would be an amazing 3-4.
Yeah, it would be. It would be insane.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, give me some of that. That sounds good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. That's all we have for today. So please quiet the fans. That's all we have for today. If you stuck around to the end, thank you very much. Please make sure you give the video a like. And if you're not subscribing, go ahead and subscribe. And please look out for the next video, whatever they may be. Me and Boulevard are working on some very exciting things, some top 10 lists. We're trying to make our own fantasy rosters. One thing I'm thinking about doing, it just reminded me, if we can use doing all Eagles legend roster, who would we put? Let's do a all Eagles legend roster. So we're not going to do the whole 53. We're going to do starting defense, starting offense.
Okay.
Outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, I preface all of that to say one thing. We can't all be starters. So Boulevard, please let the world know what they can do.
We can't all be starters. So Boulevard, let the world know.
I'm sorry. Just no reason whatsoever. All right. What can they do? Hit the bench.